Hey gang, welcome back to Joe Daddy's Workshop. Many of you have seen videos that I have on both of my channels, Joe Daddy's Garage and this channel, Joe Daddy's Workshop. Recently I did a video on this saw on my other channel. That is a Evolution chop saw with miter function. Now, Evolution Power Tools has provided me with that tool and some other tools that I've used for many projects around the shop, and I'm very thankful for them for giving me these tools. In the video on my other channel, I did an unboxing and kind of a function or use video showing you how you can cut metal with it and how everything works, the clamps and all that sort of thing. And I'm very happy with this saw. So let me show you that saw and what my plans are, and I'll also show you some of the other tools that Evolution has provided me with. So they have provided me with a multi-saw, or what we would commonly refer to as a Sawzall, and they also provided me with a small shop vac, also battery operated. I've used it in other videos and I'm very happy with that as well. So here's the first saw that they sent me. This is their regular straight cut chop saw. You've probably seen stuff like this before. I've had an older version of this that had a fiber wheel on it. This has a 14-inch metal cutting blade on it, and this thing is incredible. Now, this is great. I love this saw, but it has its limitations, because if you want to cut anything at an angle, you have to do something physically to the backstop. So another conflict I have is if I want to cut anything on this that's long, I have to slide this stand out, and of course that makes it a little difficult when you've got a rigid stand and you have to slide it back and forth. But I am very happy with this saw. I cannot tell you how good this thing operates. However, Evolution has upped their game. This is the future for me. This is a combination miter saw, chop saw, and if you look at it here, it talks about it, 14-inch metal cutting mitering chop saw with TCT blade, and it shows a picture of it. Again, I've done an unboxing of this on my other channel. Now, this thing is incredible. It's got this bar here that actually can come off if you want it to. It slides into these slots, or holes here, and then this bar allows you to move your clamps left and right wherever you may need them. Of course, slide them in and out, lock them in, tighten it down. Both of those, and these will also come off of the end if you just want them out of the way. So super nice design. Make sure you have that turned the right way. Sorry, I had that turned, so I'm doing this with one hand. A little bit difficult with one hand. And then it also has this clamp down version, which acts on friction. You can see it's got knurling on the end of the shaft there. And so when you put this in and you tighten this down, friction from this pushing up binds this inside of that. And there's a series of holes here, so you can put them wherever you need. There's also these secondary holes. I think they sell accessories. If you wanted to add something like a stop, it may slide into those holes, so you have like a rigid stop. I haven't looked into that very much because I don't really need that. However, the coolest part is this. So you can pivot this and cut at angles. Okay, here's my plan. Because I have that little space on the other side of the shop, and I am very happy with this little welding table that I've used in many videos. Very good tool to have, but I was trying to figure out a way to make this saw more mobile and use that same space over there. So my intent is to build something like this. Now this is too small for what I want to do, so I went out and I bought some 2x2 square, 2x2 angle iron, and I might have gone a little overkill. It is 1/4 inch thick, but it'll be plenty strong. So what I want to do is build a base for this stand so that I can roll it in and out of that space on the side, and then the other stand or the other tool, well, it's going to have to go into storage somewhere else. But that'll give me this tool in a mobile workstation. Along with that, I went by Harbor Freight and I picked up some locking casters. Now these aren't super heavy duty, they're like maybe $6, but they did have this nice lock feature on them. So all 4 wheels will caster, and I can lock all 4 down to make it stationary. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to cut up this angle iron and make a base for that stand. Okay, so let's go over a couple things real quick. A few weeks ago, I ended up with a piece of metal in my eye from grinding on a part of a car. And it was my fault. I did not have something like this. I recommend you get a face shield like this for anything you're doing. And of course, hearing protection. Now, this stand that's down below, that's holding this right now, the dimensions are 24 by about 27. So I want to build a rectangular frame that's 24 by 27. But I want to show you this detail. Now this is the instruction sheet that comes with this tool. This thing has a sliding upper head unit, and it gives you these 3 dots, or 3 locations. So each one of these, you follow the line, and it tells you what it can cut in that slot. In that forward position, you can cut square tubing. So that's 2x4, let's say, or 2x3 square tubing, and it shows you how to cut that. Now, if you want to do angle iron, and I'm going to point out, I believe that they're demonstrating this at an angle only so you can see that it is angle iron. If you stood that up in that corner, you couldn't see that. So I think for demonstration purposes, they just say, hey, this is angle iron. So if you go to the second dot and you follow that down, check mark for cutting angle iron, right? And on this one, the last dot, follow it, and this is for cutting like bar stock. So I can't see any way that you could use this to cut angles in angle iron if you're going to make a 45 if you had it facing that way. So if I'll just grab a piece of the material just to demonstrate, well, this would work, and I'm sure it would cut it this direction like this. You can't get the 45 that you need to make the ends come together. I don't see it happening. So we're going to put it up like this, and even though it says it's the second dot, second one on this page, I am going to set it up for that. So it has this clamp device, just a friction clamp, and this pin. So you can pull that, and you can see this slides back and forth very easily. It actually has roller bearings in there. So we're going to set this on the second pin and lock it in. Second pin, lock it in. Hey! Just for simplicity, and to demonstrate, this piece is a little over 48 inches long. So if I'm going to cut this, I hate to slide on this polished aluminum, but if you're going to cut this at a 45, you need that on one end, and wherever the 2-foot mark is on the other, roughly, I'm just going to roughly indicate that, you're going to need an angle coming in, right? So I'm not going to be exact on this cut. The thing that I'm looking at is one limitation that I see on the saw is when you rotate it this direction, you have to give up some of the space on the cutting surface. What I mean is it comes in and it hits right there. So if this were 1 3/4, 1.5 inches, this would clear this piece right here. But since it won't, I'm not going to force that to cut in that situation. So what I want to do is I'm going to bring this back and I'm going to cut this straight and just use somewhere in the mid mark. So I already know this is 51.5, 25 would be fine, anywhere in that range. So I'm going to cut this, take these clamps, run them in, run that one in, just to do it, just to hold it in place. Everything's good. Got my earmuffs on, face shield, straight cut. Now, this thing cuts super nice. I'm not forcing it, I'm letting the saw do the work. I just keep hand pressure on it and let it cut through. I don't want to force this thing and make it do something that it's not intended to do. So this angle, I need to cut again at 24 inches. So I'm going to pivot this to my 45. It's got to stop. I can lock it down. I'm going to slide this forward just enough to catch that angle. Alright, so I have that in place. I can slide this clamp over, bring it in. I don't want to be in the zone of the cutting area, so I'm going to slide it over a little bit. Clamp that, just for fun, clamp them both. Make a look at this, see, make sure the saw is not going to interfere or hit this. That would be bad. So, now we're going to cut at a 45. Like butter. Alright. So that's one. Since I already have the saw set up, I'll cut the second one. Okay, now I'm going to cut the other way. So, pivot this over, back to the opposite 45, lock it in. I'm going to reset here. And the clamps over. Probably shouldn't put the camera there, should I? Got the clamp slid over. Now what I want to do is verify my 24-inch space. Alright, so I'm going to get all these pieces cut and then we'll start fabricating. How convenient. Okay, so I'm using my Arc Captain MiG 200, and what I want to do here is some welding. Now this is nice heavy steel, so I already know I got my length right. I'm not going to set the opposite piece in place just yet because I don't have a place to hang that in space. But I will use the table that I'm going to be using for the stand later on. I may have to buy another one of these. I really like this little table. So what I want to do is just tack these upper corners so that these stay together and I can still manipulate them in and out if need be. So I have the two corners set. Now I can slide this out and set the opposite corner or the opposite side so that I can tack it on as well and make sure the measurements are correct. And this should be okay. So everything's tacked. An important thing you need to do when you're making something like this is to do a crisscross measurement and make sure that your measurements are the same from corner to corner. That way you know you're square, right? All right, I'm gonna put some welds on this. I had to swap out my wire. I had the wrong size wire earlier. I had the 0.025, I think, and this is 0.030, so 30 thousandths wire. The MIG has a synchronous setting on it, and so I can pick the wire size and then hit synchronous, and basically it does the rest. So let's see, I'm going to put a couple tacks in these corners on the inside. Nice heavy metal, should weld very nicely. Now this metal is so heavy that it doesn't want to penetrate with this setting, so I'm going to crank it up on the next one. See how that does. Well, that's better. That's what I was trying to achieve. Okay, so we've got the welder set. Weld this edge up. Okay, that's not going anywhere. Now what I want to do is weld the wheels on the bottom. I may put some more welds on the inside just to, I don't know, it doesn't really need it. It's not going anywhere. This thing is going to be rock solid. But I'll put a couple in the corners. Again, this isn't going anywhere. I'll grind those down later. Okay, let's find out if I made it right. Use a little brakes, keep it from moving somewhat. Nice. That's going to be just fine. Now, let's see if it'll fit. Like a glove. Well, there it is. Fairly simple project. You know, I'm going to be making use of this tool more often now that it has the miter function. So I will be rolling it in and out, and I just really wanted to have a stand that I could use that was more mobile. Now, this welding table, they sell these at Harbor Freight. I may have to buy another one because I like that it's on that table, on that stand, but I use that little welding table a lot, and I'm not going to be swapping things around. That's not the point. The other thing that I want to do is on the bottom section there, if you can see, there's an opening. So that little rail is all the way in the back on the back leg, and that is for like holding screwdrivers and stuff like that if you wanted to put that on there if you were using it that way. What I want to do is put a piece of wood down in the bottom here, and I have a plasma cutter and I think another tool that I can put in that space as well, and so that'll help out again with storage. So okay, so that'll be the end of this video. If you're interested in any of the Evolution Power Tools, there will be a link in the description below. There will also be a link to my Patreon account. I have patrons on my primary channel, Joe Daddy's Garage. They support me in making videos, and I thank them so much for doing that. If you're interested, there is a link there as well. Otherwise, that's it for this video. So until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.